Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ronald's Adventures. And this is another episode of Ghost Stories. Tonight's story was sent in by Tim, and it's called An Apparition. My family moved into an old house we bought from a very elderly widow in the early 90s. Painted over wallpaper, crystal doorknobs with keyholes underneath, questionable wiring, and a big furnace in the basement. The front room had 4 windows and no wired light fixtures in the ceiling. So it was beautiful in natural light and abysmally dark in the evenings. If you don't turn on a lamp, the stairway heading upstairs had a light at the top that was on, as well as the light from the kitchen, which offered a little illumination, but no permanent light in the room. In the corner by the fireplace, we had an old console TV with a cable box and a VCR to watch all the channels. I was informed at dinner that the previous owner had died. That evening, it was dark, and I was sitting quietly on the floor watching something on TV. A translucent apparition, I'd say 80% opaque in a Photoshop term, of an older man in his 70s or 80s wearing a suit, walked down the stairs. He was smoking a cigarette and took off his fedora. As he looked around, he paid no attention to me, and I quickly ran away to the bathroom at the other side of the house. My only guess is that it was her husband taking a look around the place one last time. 2 decades later, I tell my parents about it, who still live there. My mom said that she remembered seeing a similar apparition in the house once around a similar time frame. A second, more boring story. I lived in the same house until I went off to college. Every night in bed, I would hear a fast, distant, rhythmic drumming. It didn't sound too different from the distant of a percussion of the high school bands during a football game. It was maybe 120 to 140 beats per second. I assumed that it was just blood pumping through my ears, and my brain did the rest. I eventually moved out, and I don't hear it anywhere else I lived. In fact, the blood pumping through my ears just sounds like a normal blub blub of your heartbeat. So now, my left field guess was that I was hearing old Iroquois drums.